Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News Update. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Today, I'm highlighting news from the Bahamas. Bahamas Central Bank Governor highlights energy sector investments as key driver for long-term growth. Central Bank of the Bahamas Governor John Roll highlighted that ongoing investments in the national energy sector serve as a powerful catalyst for long-term economic growth. High utility costs have historically weighed heavily on both local businesses and households, creating broader inflationary pressures across the Bahamian economy. Yes, it happens even here in Trinidad and Tobago. The more you increase fuel prices, the more that goods and services will increase as well. Electricity increases, the cost for production of these types of goods and services increase. We complained about it under the Mighty Morphin Ghanaian Coal Pot bicycle, no harm, no macaroni pie, whole strain, tighten your belt, PNM, and yet now the UNC fanatics are making excuses for it. And in Bahamas, there it appears to be that there's a very serious problem, a very serious issue, especially when it pertains to the electricity. For some reason or the other, they continue to have very frequent nationwide outages, or blackouts, if you want to call it that. By addressing infrastructural inefficiencies and modernizing power generation, these strategic capital projects are designed to structurally lower energy expenses, ultimately enhancing the country's economic competitiveness and providing consumers with much needed financial relief. However, Governor Roll stressed the importance of distinguishing between long-term structural transformations and short-term operational challenges. Yes, a lot of these things take time to end up coming into effect, people. And so therefore, it's going to have a lot of problems for a while, especially with that government. But you all voted for them, so don't really complain. You all gave them the mandate, a second term in office. Relax and let's see what they will do. I just joke with you all because, look, I voted for Kamala and they're doing crap, and I'm speaking out. So go ahead and condemn as much as you want if your government is doing crap. Addressing concerns over recent electricity disruptions in the Bahamas, he cautioned that it would be premature to link temporary outages directly to national economic performance. Yeah, but I mean, come on. It's almost every week now you hear about an outage in the Bahamas since I've been following the news for over a month now. It is going to affect people's business and production of goods especially. It's going to also affect people's provision of services and so forth. Right? A lot of businesses can't operate. Remember, they're using a lot of online technology. How it is you're going to be able to conduct your work, right? Office work and so forth, right? Without internet, without electricity. I mean, come on. It's going to end up having a long-term effect as well if this nonsense continues. The central bank has not yet conducted quantitative impact studies on these recent supply interruptions, noting that short-term volatility does not necessarily reflect or undermine the overreaching economic trajectory. Yeah, that sounds more like politics than anything else. Politicians, again, always trying to make excuses to cover up their incompetence. Moving forward, financial authorities emphasize that realizing the full economic benefits of energy reform in the Bahamas will require sustained implementation and patience. Yeah, remember that's what the Mighty Morphin Ghanaian PNM was telling us, and even now UNC telling us that have patience, telling all the unions that have patience, we go deal with all you, we'll give all your money. Yeah, Fed up with them. Fed up. While modernized infrastructure holds strong promise for stabilizing the grid and reducing baseline utility rates over time, short-term fluctuations in power delivery remain a separate operational issue. What's the long term? How long y'all really going to take to upgrade this infrastructure? Policymakers and economic analysts will continue to monitor grid reliability and broader market data before drawing definitive conclusions on how recent performance impacts overall economic growth. When I hear these types of statements, public statements by government officials and so forth, whether it's here in Trinidad and Tobago or throughout the Caribbean and the world by extension. Just laugh, because you know why? It's just basically, instead of just admitting we made mistakes, we made errors, and we are going to try to resolve these problems, rectify these issues as soon as possible. You just try to make excuses and tell the population to hold strain. We heard that for 9.5 years from PNM in Trinidad and Tobago.
Weather report for Trinidad and Tobago on Friday, July 31, 2026. The weather report for Friday, July 31, 2026 in Trinidad and Tobago projects a mix of scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms driven by an active intertropical convergence zone and an approaching tropical wave. Highs will reach 30 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius, dropping to a minimum low of 25 degrees Celsius at night. The feels like heat index temperature is expected to peak around 33 degrees Celsius. Scattered showers are highly probable with a 58% to 62% chance, and there is an ongoing risk of heavy downpours and lightning. Winds will blow from the east to southeast at 5 to 35 km per hour with localized gusty winds near heavy precipitation. Humidity will remain extremely high, ranging between 70% and 95%. The Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service warns that street or flash flooding is likely to occur in and near heavier shower or thunderstorm zones. The sea state will be moderate in open waters. Wave heights will range from 1.5 meters to 2.0 meters in open waters and from 1.0 meters to 1.5 meters in sheltered areas. Spring tides will be in effect throughout the day, causing occasionally choppy coastal waters. Psalm 23, 4-6. A declaration of trust and confidence in God's unfailing protection, provision, and eternal presence. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies, you anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news update. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe. Most of all, in Jesus' name.